14th, 2020 School Committee meeting. This meeting is being recorded by Easthampton Media. The committee will be going into executive session and returning to regular session after we've done some business. Dr. LeClaire?
Good evening, everyone. Could we please stand for a moment of silence in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Keep moving that flag.
Thank you. I just have a few announcements, and we do have a change in our school calendar that I'll get to. The next regular meetings are scheduled for January 28th, February 11th, March 10th, and the 24th. The public hearing on the FY 2021 school budget is scheduled for March 24th, 2020. There is no school on January 20th due to Martin Luther King holiday, and there is also no school on Monday, January 27th, due to professional development and the semester change. There is a half day of school on Monday, February 10th, due to teacher professional development, and there's also no school February 17th to the 21st due to winter break. There is no school Tuesday, March 3rd due to voting and teacher professional development, and there are half days of school on Thursday and Friday, March 19th and 20th, due to parent-teacher conferences. And the change in the calendar, there will be a half day of school on Tuesday, March 31st, due to a special election date and teacher professional development. Because of this special election, there will be a full regular day of school on Monday, April 6th, 2020. So that was a recent date that we just found out about. So that concludes my messages. Thank you.
All right. Do we have correspondence?
The one piece of correspondence that I would mention is that I had received an email from community member Chris Korjak, which I forwarded to the committee for future conversation. He was specifically interested in some method, perhaps the Citizens Committee, for identifying and prioritizing maintenance needs in the building, perhaps beyond what our maintenance is normally doing. He was specifically concerned about like chairs in the auditorium, simple fixes, that kind of thing. So perhaps that's something we can discuss, and I want to talk with you at some point, Superintendent, about responding to Chris.
And do we have gifts?
And we do. We'd like to please vote to accept with gratitude and appreciation the following gifts. From Matthew Morse, the donation of 24 backpacks valued at $50 each to the girls' basketball program for carrying their basketball gear to and from practice and games. And these backpacks will remain the property of the basketball program at the end of the season, so they can be reused year after year. So thank you very much, Matthew Morse, for the generous donation.
I move to accept that gift.
I second that.
All discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. That's it.
That is it.
Excellent. So now is the portion of public speak. Is there anybody who would like to get up and say a few words? And as you do, please come and state your name and
Good evening. I'm Nellie Taylor. I'm the president of the Easthampton Education Association. I have been teaching at Easthampton High School in the math department for 12 years, and I am here with various EEA members and MTA members tonight because we want to talk a little bit about a couple of different things. First of all, I want to celebrate with you because the Student Opportunity Act passed. You have been elected and re-elected to your positions, and so we have some really important work to do together moving forward, because the district is going to be receiving a whole lot more money on top of the existing Chapter 70 money that comes from the state of Massachusetts. Those those levels are dramatically increasing over the next 7 years. This coming fiscal year, Easthampton Public Schools will receive about $52,000 additional dollars on top of Chapter 70 funding at current levels, and that number will steadily increase by leaps and bounds up to in July of 2027, Easthampton will be receiving over $879,000 in addition to what we already receive from the state of Massachusetts for Chapter 70 funding for schools. At the beginning of this new budgeting season that we are entering, I want to let you know that EEA members really expect that the new money is going to be spent in ways that directly impact student learning. We expect that you will be advocating for a reasonable budget from the city, and a net loss of services to students and a net loss of staff is not something that we consider a reasonable budget. So, students and families in Easthampton really deserve access to the resources that they're not currently getting, that they have had in the past. We want to take time to remind you what students need and what we hope for. So one of the things we hope for is increased access to libraries and librarians, fully licensed librarians who hold a DESE license. At this point, White Brook Middle School students do not have a functioning library, and it would be amazing if that library was staffed by a licensed librarian. In addition, the EHS library is only open during the school day. It used to be open before and after school, staffed by a para, and that para position was cut. Our students need to print documents for classes. They need access to the internet to do research. They really need more expanded library services than what they currently have access to. And we hope that will be something we're able to deliver to the students moving forward. Licensed librarians who then have para support are able to ignite student learning and work with teachers and really fuel passion for reading and delve into student individual interests in ways that our students are not really being targeted with right now by the current level of service. In addition, there have been lots of cuts to special ed staffing in the last several years. There have been cuts to paraeducator positions, which have left buildings understaffed, and students are not always receiving the services that they are entitled to. Educators are very concerned about this. We want students to be getting every service they are entitled to, at the frequency that they are entitled to it. And while autism is one of the most heritable human traits in terms of neurodiversity, and our students are increasingly identified as having autistic features and characteristics. And this group of students receives formal support in the younger grades in elementary and middle school, but at the high school level, we do not currently have an autism specialist. The autism support for students who may have some different types of socio-emotional learning is not, it doesn't continue into high school, and we see a need there. We want our students to be supported. We also want a behavior program that is fully staffed by a clinician. We have an intensive therapeutic program at the high school that is staffed sort of part-time by a teacher who also does inclusion. And that teacher is pulled in multiple directions. They have classroom responsibilities, and they also have responsibilities to students with really intense needs who need our support. And so, also at the elementary level and all the way up through high school, paras can't always travel with students to specials. However, when you have students who have additional needs outside of the normal classroom routine, you find that those students often need support in order to be able to access their specials and electives. And students don't necessarily have that right now. Not all students need the same services, but all students deserve to access their education fully. And we hope that you will seek us out as experts on what our students need, because we will be unrelenting advocates for direct improvements to their day-to-day experience. The time to cut in public schools has ended. It's time to bring back services, restore, expand, and enrich the Easthampton Public Schools. It's time. So congratulations, the Student Opportunity Act has passed. The money is coming. We thank you already for your advocacy. Some of you have, I know, traveled to Boston and advocated and called legislators and were part of the bill passing. And so I thank you for that. The Easthampton Education Association thanks you for that, certainly. And, you know, we really hope to be partners with you as we identify the most pressing needs and where to put the money so it directly impacts students moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Nellie.
Hello, my name's Lori McCullough. I teach first grade at Pepin Elementary School, and I've taught at Center Pepin for about 24 years. And in that time, there's been a lot of changes, and they have affected our students. And also in that time, in our culture, in our communities, students' lives have changed. Students are more, well, we have more poverty, and we have more children who are living with a history of trauma. And we have tried to step up our supports for those kids. They don't let you not notice them. They have a lot of glaring needs. We do have a behavior program that is bigger than it used to be. However, we don't have a school adjustment counselor anymore. We used to have at Pepin Elementary School, we used to at Center Pepin, we used to have a full-time psychologist who did testing mostly on students, and a school adjustment counselor who dealt with the children themselves. We cut the adjustment counselor, and now the school psychologist does both. We used to have a literacy coordinator and a math coordinator for the whole elementary district. Now we don't have the math coordinator, and the literacy coordinator is doing both. So you should expect, when you ask someone to do two jobs, that there's going to be a change in delivery and maybe even quality. We have very few Tier 2 supports. You either get what you need in the classroom, or you have to have special ed. There is not anything in, there's not much in the middle for our students. There used to be more, we used to call it remedial services or supports for kids academically. There really are not at my school. So most of those holes fall to the classroom teacher to pick up the pieces. And trust me, they try. They really do try. I would like, when we're thinking about spending money wisely, I'd like us all to consider, at least I'm speaking for elementary school, the idea of paraeducators, qualified, experienced paraeducators in our classrooms, because all of those things that the classroom teacher is picking up the pieces on, the emotional, the behavioral, the new curriculums, while you're trying to deal with all of that with 6-year-olds, 18, 22, 6-year-olds, they need you to be there right away. They don't have a long attention span. And so you miss a lot of teachable moments if you're the only adult in the classroom. So I would consider, if you thought about your child being in classroom, you probably, one of the things that you would like is your child to have a lot of contact with the grown-up in the classroom. You could increase that by 100% if you had a qualified paraeducator with the little kids. So I thank you very much for your commitment to our kids, and for all of any advocating you've done to get some more money for our kids. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. I'm Eileen Clavalou. I teach media arts at the high school. And I am also here to advocate for more paraeducators. So I teach electives, and I believe wholeheartedly that my electives are as valuable as any other class in the school. And we have no support. So I was told several years ago that as an electives teacher, I will never get support. I really need a para in some of my classes. I have a lot of kids on ed plans. I have kids seriously on the spectrum, and I do my best. But help would be enormous to be able to give some of these kids the time and the focus that they really need, rather than one teacher who's scrambling between 24 students. So I really would advocate strongly for that. The other thing that I wanted to mention was that my program, or my department, the technology department, was cut last year, where we have 3 positions, and one of our 3 positions was cut to 60%. And as a result, we lost a very strong, skilled and effective educator. She couldn't hold out, hoping the job would increase again. So as a result, there's a real gap in my program. We've had gaps before where positions were cut, and then after some years they were brought back, and it would take years to build them up again. You can't just cut things and expect them to recover immediately. So I'm hoping that perhaps some of this money could go towards technology as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Okay. Thank you. Our student representative is not here tonight, so we will go on to our subcommittee updates. We're going to begin with policy update, and please bear with us.
Okay.
We've said this before. We are updating our policy book, and so it means you have to sit through a lot of additions and deletions.
Okay, here we go, as quickly as possible. I make a motion to delete KOD gifts from the public.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Make a motion to add KCD public gifts to the schools.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Motion to add DO scholarship and award funds.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Motion to delete JM acceptable use.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Motion to delete GCBD1 bereavement.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Motion to delete GCBD professional staff leaves and absences.
Second that.
All those in favor?
Motion to delete GBCA staff conflict of interest.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Motion to delete GBCB staff conduct.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Motion to add GBEB staff conduct.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Motion to delete GBEA staff protection.
I second that.
All those in favor?
Motion to add GBEA staff ethics conflicts of interest.
Second that.
Those in favor?
Motion to delete JL student gifts and solicitations.
I second that.
Those in favor?
Motion to delete KIKJ public solicitations in the school, advertising in the school.
Those in, whoops.
I second that.
Those in favor?
After coffee.
Motion to add KHA public solicitations in the schools.
I second that.
Those in favor?
Motion to delete KHA contribution to the funding of interscholastic athletics.
Second that.
Those in favor?
Motion to add KHB advertising in the schools.
Second that.
Those in favor?
Motion to delete DG student activity agency account.
Second that.
Those in favor?
So many. Motion to delete DGDH depository funds, bonded employees and officers.
Second.
Those in favor?
Motion to delete DGA student activity accounts prepayment.
Second.
Those in favor?
Motion to delete KNAJ relations with police authorities.
Second.
Those in favor?
Motion to add KLG law enforcement involvement.
Second.
Those in favor?
Motion to delete GCN, evaluation of professional staff.
Second.
Those in favor?
Motion to delete AFC, evaluation of professional staff.
Second.
Those in favor?
Motion to add GCO, evaluation of professional staff.
Second.
Those in favor?
Motion to delete GCBA, professional staff salary schedules, the old version.
Second.
Those in favor?
Motion to add the same, but the new version.
Second.
Those in favor?
Motion to delete the old FF naming of facilities.
Second.
Those in favor?
Motion to add FF naming of new facilities.
Second.
Those in favor?
Motion to delete GBCBA, GBK, substance abuse, drugs, and alcohol.
Second.
Those in favor?
Just getting there. Motion
We're
to
almost done.
delete GBEE, staff health and safety.
Second.
Those in favor?
Motion to delete GBER, GBEAR, staff health and safety and staff protection.
Second.
Those in favor?
Almost.
Motion to delete GBEA, staff protection. Did I
Second.
say that?
Those in favor?
Motion to delete GCF1, highly qualified staff.
Second.
Those in favor?
And motion to delete GDF1, highly qualified staff.
Second.
Those in favor?
Okay.
All right.
That is that.
We should thank Shannon, who's not here, for
Yes.
helping to do a lot of the grunt work on a lot of
Yes.
these changes, even though she's enjoying herself down south.
Yeah. I'll be glad to pass that duty off to her next time.
So do we have anything under other?
Well, so I didn't catch it early enough, so maybe we need to postpone it, but we did have a finance subcommittee meeting, but none of the documents are in here. So maybe we need to hold off on sort of a report to the next school committee meeting about, I was looking at both our quarterly review of financing as well as sort of looking out towards the upcoming budget process. So, and Dr. Leclerc already announced when we'll be actually bringing the full approved budget in front of the school committee. So, but maybe we can have a little bit of time included next time in that document given to Sue so that it can be included.
Sounds good.
Thank you.
Anything else? Right. Then on to our superintendent update.
Okay, well, this evening we have an update from the school building committee. We have Tom Brown here, who's the chair of our committee. Welcome, Tom. I don't know if you want to say anything tonight. And we also have a presentation from Burke Gardner, who is our architect from Kalo and Beanick, and Adam D'Alessio, who is our project manager from Colliers. Adam and Burke, you want to come up and go through the presentation? Welcome.
Thank you very much. Again, my name is Adam D'Alessio. I'm with Colliers Project Leaders. We are the owner's project representative. So basically, we represent the city of Easthampton through the entirety of this project. We will be attending construction meetings. We'll be attending building committee meetings. We're also going to have a full-time presence with on site during the construction process as well. So we're going to be, overseeing this project full-time. I also have Burke Gardner, who's here with Kalo and Beanick Architects. And then also, just as a quick update too, is that we have recently, or the city has recently contracted with Fontaine Brothers as the general contract for this project. Fontaine also did the high school project here as well, so we're very excited to get started with them. And I've done personally some other projects with them, and it's been great experience from every project so far. So we're excited to get going. We're going to kind of get through what some of the next steps are going to be and what changes you'll see at the site, at the school. Some of the traffic patterns will change as things start to pick up a little bit here.
All right, so thanks for having us this evening. I think I was here last April just to kind of give you an update on the project as we're coming into finalizing the design and getting the construction documents out to bid. As Adam mentioned, the project has bid. It's come in at very successful pricing, and we got all the alternates that we were looking for in the project. So now Fontaine's got the go-ahead to start, and they are very anxious to get a presence on the site and start moving stuff around and building the new school for you. So with that, the superintendent asked if we'd come and just give an update to the committee as far as what you can expect in the next 6 months or so. And I'll just preface this by saying that as the progress on the building continues, we're kind of touching every piece of this site just about. So what you see right out of the gates will eventually have to be massaged and reworked. So the plans that we show you tonight as far as how things are going to work will get tweaked before the project's done. It's a phased project. We've got basically we're going to build the middle school portion of the building so that Whitebrook students can move in, and then once they're in, they'll go and they'll finish the elementary school side of the building, take down the existing school, and then they'll start building the new football field and finish parking lots and access roads and things like that. So it's a very short presentation tonight because you've kind of seen what the building looks like, and it's kind of not that good in the light, but that's just a picture of the image. The two school entrances.
Thank you, Tom.
That's the only one that.
All right.
Nice.
The last one's a little bit better, but
So can you
Yeah.
just show them like where the entrances
Yeah,
are?
sure.
Can you kind of
yes.
think for people that are just looking at
I'm going
it?
to jump to the very end slide because it
Okay.
shows the whole building.
Okay.
Okay? So that just gets context. And you see the darker portion in the middle. That's what the image that we're on is looking at. Okay? So you've kind of got the elementary school wing is behind the building. The middle school wing is off to the left. And what we've got is an elementary school entrance here. So kind of as you come along the south side of the site, there's a small parking lot that serves the elementary school and parent drop-off. There's a single bus loop that will let kids off, but they've got a straight access into that entrance there. And then we've got a separate middle school entrance on the other side of this kind of mass here, which is your athletic facilities and locker rooms and everything. So then you've got a middle school entrance on that side. And again, a single bus loop just serves the entire both entrances. It's a staggered start, so you don't have to kind of worry about all the elementary school kids getting out and mingling with the middle school kids as they're trying to make their way into the building. So as far as that goes, busing and everything is very similar to what we see now. It's just going to be in one spot rather than causing congestion in multiple locations in the town. So this is just another view, kind of looking back down along the middle school wing there towards the middle school entrance. Back in April when we were here, we kind of diagrammatically said that the contractor is going to take the north half of the site and we're going to leave the south half of the site for the middle school. And this is essentially what's happened. So we've got some early logistics plans from Fontaine Brothers that are put together. And you can kind of see that yellow area is what we were kind of trying to say was going to be taken for construction. Number 9, you can see just left of the yellow area is the upper field. It's about half of the upper field, really. And there was a request made that we reserve that for school use and for community use as best we can. There is work that has to happen up on that upper field. We are doing some stuff. So eventually, there's going to have to be just some coordination as far as how that work will get done. About where the number 3 is, just to the right of the 9, the yellow line around the yellow shaded area is the construction fence. So we are going to have an actual 8-foot-high fence to separate all the construction activities from the site and deter people from trying to get into the construction area and keep them on the public side and the contractors on the construction side. We are actually digging into that slope quite a bit.
Do you have an approximate date when those kind of fencing is going to go up, though? For
Yeah, I'd say if you don't see it this week, then next week.
Right.
So that's gonna happen very shortly. And part of it is just getting.
This is moving.
Oh no, I know. I just for announcing to me as a
Right.
parent driving
Right.
down to suddenly see a fence.
Yep.
Just to know that that's coming.
So we will talk with the superintendent a little bit just to make sure that there's time for notifications to go out about new circulation patterns and things like that. But we're meeting with the Conservation Commission Thursday this week for hopefully our final walkthrough with them and a green light for Fontaine to really bring equipment in and start moving stuff around. The erosion controls are going in tomorrow so that we have something to look at with the Conservation Commission on Thursday. And then from there, Fontaine will have a much more significant presence. So what you may or may not remember is the football field is the existing football field is the location of the new building, but the new building kind of extends across the tennis courts too, and kind of comes right to the edge of that rise up to the upper field. So there's a lot of site work. The new building's floor is going to be about 5 feet higher than the football field, which means the parking lots and everything have to get lowered down to that level. The football field's about 9 feet below the floor in Whitebrook, so we're kind of right in the middle. So that means we're digging out the existing north parking lot has to get excavated down, and we've got to bring up the grade of the football field to accommodate this. And that's really what Fontaine's focus is going to be on right out of the gate, is kind of establishing the pad for the new building, and regrading all that. At the same time, they've really looked at this hard, and we kind of put the roundabout in as a flexible phase, just saying that it had to happen over the summer so as not to disrupt flow in and out of the school. But where the number 7 is really most of that roundabout is on that corner that we acquired from Williston, off of Park Street and off of the entrance. So they're going to get as much of that, graded out and prepped for the roundabout through this next several months, so that when the summer comes, all they've got to do is focus on the tie-in at Park Street and the tie-in to the entrance drives for the school. So that's another thing that you're going to see happening pretty quickly. I think that the focus will probably be down in the school site, but as soon as the weather starts getting good, and maybe even earlier, you'll see a presence up kind of at the corner there, kind of just off the roadway. Way out towards Park Street on the left, you'll see just under the 701, and that's a construction gate. We are planning to put a fence kind of between the two entrance drives, and what we're doing is we're giving the north drive to the construction traffic, and we're retaining the south drive for school traffic, basically parents and buses coming in, and walkers. So this part is still kind of in flux. We're still in conversations with people, but our preference is to put up a Jersey barrier. The existing drive-in is about 20 feet, 22 feet wide. It kind of varies. 24 feet is ideal for two-way traffic. So we'd either like to widen that a little bit to better accommodate two-way traffic, or we're also talking with the Treehouse development about using their Button Road there, their access into their neighborhood, and then there's an emergency access into Whitebrook, a gated access that we can open up. And what we'd really like to do is establish a one-way traffic flow for the vehicles to go through. This would just really impact them during drop-off and pickup times most significantly. And that would allow us to take that wide one lane on the south and put up some Jersey barriers so that we create a really safe kind of access route for the bikers and the walkers that are coming to the school. And actually, if we keep that kind of on the north side, we'd have the construction fence to separate from the heavy machinery, and we'd have the Jersey barrier to separate them from the cars coming and going, or actually just leaving, hopefully.
Right.
And they'd never have to, the walkers would never have to cross any kind of traffic once they get onto the entrance drive coming in. We could keep them from having to cross bus traffic or car traffic. So, and that's really just what this is showing. Sorry, the slides are showing up really dark, but it just kind of added a second blue line going through the Treehouse neighborhood, and then you can see the parent drop-off would be kind of just straight in line. Where it says number 8 in the middle, while I'm looking at it, Fontaine is hoping to take the entire north parking lot. We were hoping to save half of that for school use. They really need that for just maneuverability and getting their equipment, having a place to stockpile materials, having a place for job trailers and storage, and they've got to do a fair amount of excavation in that parking lot. So they've asked if they could take that, and where the existing bus loop is, kind of clear all that out, grade it, and provide temporary parking for the school use. Part of that would mean restriping and things, so that they made sure they maintain an emergency vehicle lane and a bus lane for drop-offs. And of course, we're going to maintain the red line around the building. Just shows that we're going to maintain that emergency access road that goes around the current school right now. It's likely that when they get up kind of towards the number 10 that's on the Whitebrook building there, there'll probably be a gate so they can exit through the construction zone and get out. But that's really details that Fontaine will work out what's going to work best for them. They have been told that all of the school's outdoor maintenance equipment is stored right about where the number 10 is. There's some overhead doors there and some garages for the school's tractors and things, and we'll maintain access to make sure that those things can get in and out of the building as well. So, whoops. And then just kind of a few bullet points about what you can expect, starting probably next week.
Yeah, it'll be soon.
Is you're going to see a circulation patterns are going to be reconfigured. Depending on how things go, we're hoping that it'll be a one-way loop, like I mentioned. But either way, we're going to end up doing the parent drop-off is going to move from the north lot to the south lot in one form or another. Fontaine is going to show up. They're going to start putting up the construction fences to separate the construction areas from the school areas. They're going to get their erosion controls in place, and we'll probably see some job trailers coming out and some storage trailers. And then shortly after that, you're going to see a lot of heavy equipment coming to the school, and a lot of excavation, dirt coming in, dirt going out. They'll establish where the temporary play field is going to be up at the top. And as I said, there's just a lot of excavation and a lot of fill to do to get the site where we need it to take the new building. And then as the weather starts getting better, we're going to see the foundations go in shortly. In the past, and this is another thing Fontaine will kind of determine, but for the high school, they brought temporary boilers in and they heated the ground to thaw it so that they could pour concrete slabs even in the cold weather. And depending on how aggressive they want to be with their schedule, that's something that may happen as well. I don't think in the next 6 months you'll be seeing steel, but it'll be right about then we'll start seeing steel coming to the site and being erected. So this summer, I would imagine you'll see the building start to take shape. So that's it. Any questions?
As yet unnamed building.
Correct. But we have 2 signs. We have 3 signs. We've got a signage reserved for the building itself.
Yeah.
So you wanted to call it Whitebrook, but you wanted to have separate names for the elementary and the middle school side. We've got separate signage for both entrances too. So very flexible.
Yeah, we haven't decided on the names yet, but yeah, that's for the committee.
And it will take a little bit of time to get these construction fences up and kind of get these safety protocols and precautions in place. So while they're doing that, we did ask them to avoid, drop-off time and pick-up time just for traffic coming in and out until they get the full construction road in and get their construction fence up and get everything in place. So there will be a little bit of kind of working with them and working with the school, kind of working together to make sure. And we'll keep you up to date as far as any activities that are coming up. If anything has to change or if anything will change, we'll obviously keep you up to date on what's happening.
Right, and just so everyone knows, we've met with not only the school building team, but we've also met with we've consulted with the fire, the police, we've consulted with the building administration, just to make sure we're taking into consideration everything that we can. And next week, I hope to meet with the residents at Treehouse. We're trying to put together a coffee hour to answer any questions or concerns they might have, and if there's anything that we have not considered yet. So the mayor's been instrumental in helping facilitate a lot of that, and so thank you, Mayor. So we know that this is going to require a lot of communication with the community and the parents and the faculty. It's going to impact everyone. But we're hoping to just kind of make this shift or this traffic transition once for 2 years and kind of not inconvenience people and change our mind, after a few months. So
And to your point, this is how we feel is the safest alternative for this parking. For the students walking in, for using kind of a loop as a one-way traffic, we're not having, cars crossing each other or getting affected by the construction traffic. We feel that this is probably the safest and best direct route for this to happen.
Right.
In May, we've been following the National Walk and Bike to School event. Do you think that will still be safe to do it in May?
Sure. Yeah, just let us know the date and we can let everybody know that this is happening and make sure that we kind of avoid those times. My kids have done the same type of thing, so I understand the magnitude of kids that do this, so we can let them know, absolutely.
I actually think this temporary solution, if we can do the one-way loop with the Jersey barriers to create a pedestrian and bike lane on that drive coming in, is a little bit safer than what we have now, because when you get down to the bottom of the hill now, you've got the staff member that's kind of helping the kids get across where the parents are turning into the north lot to drop them off and coming back out. So there is a little bit of traffic and pedestrian crossing of traffic ways once you get onto the school grounds currently. And at least for this, for the construction period, while we're taking care of this and having this temporary measure in place, that will go away.
Right.
Reality is that once the school opens up, they can continue to not have to cross traffic, but it's a longer sidewalk, so I don't know how many of them will do it. So,
Thank you.
Any other questions? Concerns?
Well, so we did say that sending out notifications to parents
Yes.
through all that will be happening. Will there be
Yes.
robocalls along with that, or just
I
notifications?
can absolutely do robocalls,
Yeah, I
yeah,
think
that's easy.
I think just
Yep.
not everybody gets papers that are at the middle
That's a
school that
good
are stuffed
point.
at the bottom of the backpack. So robocalls are a helpful
Yep.
way to reach parents too.
Absolutely.
No, not personal at all, of course.
So just explain the mail out to.
All right. All right. Thank you, Adam and Bert. Appreciate it.
Thanks,
Thank you,
everyone.
Tom, for coming.
Thank you.
That's all I have.
All right, that was easy. So now matters for action. Do we have warrants and payroll?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Will this presentation be posted on the school site, like for the project, like the rest? Thank you.
Sorry, let me get scrolling through my agenda here. Okay. I move to approve the school payroll dated December 19, 2019 in the amount of $529,005.60.
Second.
All those in favor?
I move to approve the accounts payable authorization for payment dated December 19, 2019 in the amount of $299,312.04.
I'll second.
Those in favor?
I move to approve the school payroll dated January 2, 2020 in the amount of $524,131.11.
I'll second.
Those in favor?
I move to approve the accounts payable authorization for payment dated January 2, 2020 in the amount of $138,342.83.
I'll second.
Those in favor?
And I move to accept our regular session minutes from December 10, 2019.
I second.
Those in favor? And now the regular.
Did I miss something?
So it's regular and executive.
Oh, okay. So then I would move to accept the minutes from the special session. I'm sorry. Am I
I think we
confused?
have to do that too. I think we have to do that too.
want to withhold the executive session?
Withhold the executive.
Withhold it?
Did I
Okay.
skip one? So I did the regular
No.
session on December 10.
So then we're good.
And then we're good. Okay, never mind.
She-
Okay, very good.
Okay, so now if we can have a roll. Excuse me?
We do have to.
Oh, the special session.
1, 2.
Yes. Okay, so I move to accept the minutes from our January 2nd special session. meeting.
Second.
All those in favor?
Sorry, Sue.
Okay, so now we're going to go into, take a roll call vote to go into executive
Well,
session.
we have a break because we can't go into executive session until 7:15.
Oh, that's right,
as
yeah.
posted.
Oh, my goodness, we went flying. So we had the 30-minute break.
We can't. Are the people not here?
It's posted at 7:15.
Yeah, we can't,
But if
we
it's
can.
executive, if no one else is allowed in it.
Yeah.
Why can't we start the executive earlier?
The
if
attorney.
The attorneys aren't here then. Okay, that's the.
So we are on break.
Do you need to do a
Do
roll
you
call
want
to
a
break?
roll call vote to go to break till 7:15? Okay,
Second.
can we have a roll call? Call out your call.
Baron Goldstein.
Cynthia Kuzinski.
Marissa Carreri.
Jonathan Schmidt, aye.
Garcia.
Mary, do we need to sign the campaign permit?
Okay, so we have returned to regular session and concluded our business in executive session. Do we have a motion to adjourn the meeting?
I move to adjourn.
Second.
All right, can we have a roll call vote?
Nicole Asherpal.
Baron Goldstein.
Cynthia Kuzinski.
Marissa Carreri.
Sorry, Garcia.
This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.